Oh, hello everybody. Happy Sunday. Welcome back. Cheers to all. Happy Sunday. Yes, I haven't done a video in a little while because I've been busy moving. As you'll have seen, I am moving room, or moved room, and it's just starting to come together now. I'm just actually getting somewhere, so I'm just starting to plug some systems back in for the first time today. So this is a pickups video, but there's going to be no gameplay. So yeah, if we find pickups videos without gameplay boring, then you might want to just switch off now because yeah, I haven't had time to play anything really of this month's pickups. But yes, this beer is one. Shout out to Retro Goblin because he enjoys his cherry beer, and I was recommending this one. My sister actually bought me this, so shout out to Simone if you are watching. She bought me that for my birthday, which was back in May, but it was still in the fridge, so yeah. That is so nice. That's a lovely beer, that is. So anyway, I've had a busy couple of months, so although this is a pickups video for June, but there'll be another pickups video for July, the end of this month, because I've got a lot incoming, a lot of interesting stuff. So including there'll be something going there as well. The Micro VTech Cub 20, which you'll have seen before. I did say I was going to take that to Skip. I'm not going to. I'm holding out. I'm hoping I might be able to get that repaired at some point. So at the moment I'm searching for a tube for that one. So yeah, I'm keeping fingers crossed. So all being well, everything at some point will be plugged into that. But in the meantime, I have got something else coming, which will be for next month's video. So let's crack on with all I've picked up. I've got some pickups, I've got some shout outs, a bit of info on London Gamer Market, which I went to last week. But let's start with some guns. Get suns out, guns out. You know me, I've talked lately about the Nintendo Wii and the shooters, which I've been catching up on, which I didn't play back in the day, but I'm really enjoying them. So I've been playing a lot of House of the Dead Overkill and Ghost Squad. Both really, really good games and a lot of fun. And I wanted to get one of the gun shells just to sort of take it to the next level, really. Shout out Ninja Bear Hug, because he is the master of the guns. Anyway, the first one I was going to pick up on a recommendation from Martin, Hobby Lodge, so shout out Hobby Lodge, is this one, which is a House of the Dead Overkill hand cannon. Really cool thing. So yeah, your Wii remote just slots in the top, and then obviously your trigger just catches on the old thing inside, the B button I think it is, isn't it? But it's got a really nice feel to it, and I've been after this one for a little while. But it was usually selling for about 35 quid in the time I was searching, so I sort of gave up on it. So I'm not spending that on it. So I bought this thing, which is just a generic, one of these sort of typical Chinese resellers. But I think it's a copy of a Venom, actually, because it looks very similar. This was, I think it was 15 quid, and from watching the item, I think I got an offer of like £14 or something like that. So I thought, yeah, I'll just get that and be happy with it. Which I am actually. It's a really nice thing, and it's nicely balanced because your Wii remote is kind of quite central. Really nice feeling trigger. But just after that, after I received this one turned up. Buy it now for 20 quid. So I thought, you know what, I'll grab that as well. I'm glad I did because my wife and I have been enjoying playing 2-player games, and it surprised me actually because she really enjoys using these light guns, which I didn't expect, and she actually likes this one. And it's quite heavy, this one. It's quite weighty on the end because your Wii remote sits more on the sort of end of the gun than this one, which is a bit more balanced. But both of these are really recommended. If you're after this and you don't want to wait around looking for it, then I would say that's a really good alternative for less than 15 quid. That was with free delivery, I seem to remember. Really nice gun. Really nice gun shell. So yeah, there we go. I'm looking for some thumbnails here. Hopefully there'll be one that's worthy. So yeah, two really cool light guns, and again, I'm enjoying my light guns on the Nintendo Wii, so I'm sure there'll be more games I'll hopefully pick up at some point. So hope they work okay, balanced like that. Not really thought this through, but so next thing I grabbed was actually a magazine, and you'll see straight away why I picked this up. This is the video magazine or video the magazine, and this is from 1986, £1, and I got it because of the cover. How awesome is that? I've actually got some quite interesting stuff in here. I don't know how well this will focus in. I'll come around this side. But yeah. So most of it's in black and white. You've got some colour as well. Look at that VHS recorder. That's old school. Oh, oops! I better not focus on that too much, otherwise I'll be cut off. But oh, a couple of nipples there as well. Didn't realise how risque that magazine is. So yeah, YouTube certainly aren't going to be putting my video on the algorithm. So I got that. I think it was about £4 or something like that. Quite cheap and really interesting to look through. Not just because of a titillation. Next one I grabbed was this, just because it was cheap really. It's got some good games on there. This was only 99p and really cool games. So it's a BBC micro disc, Blue Ribbon Games disc #1. Nice coloured disc as well. You know me, I like my coloured discs as opposed to just standard ones. That's quite clean. There was a little bit of mildew on there, but I've cleaned that off. It does work. And we've got Nightmare Maze, Q-Man, which is a good sort of Q-Bert clone. Castle Assault, that's a good game but hard. Banana Man I haven't played yet, and 3D Munchie, which is kind of like an isometric Pac-Man game. Really good. So I'll pop that there. That's my only BBC micro game for this month. Then the next thing I grabbed was a VHS. And who remembers this film? I completely forgotten about it until I saw it for sale. The Emerald Forest. Absolutely cracking film this was. Never see it talked about, but yeah, really good. So I'm looking forward to rewatching this. Again, got it really cheap. I think it was about £4 or something. No mildew. So that might be going on later. I haven't seen that since whenever it released, probably late 80s I expect. I haven't got my glasses on, so I probably won't be able to see, but yeah, I think it must have been about 89 I would have thought. But cool film. If anyone hasn't seen it, I do recommend that. Then the next thing I grabbed was a Nintendo Wii game. I don't think this was released in the UK, and it's not one I've played before either. But I saw it on my little US search. It got me curious, and it was cheap. I think I only paid about £7 including postage from the US, and that is Centipede Infestation. I would have liked to have put some gameplay in here for you, but it only turned up a couple of days ago. It's quite slow coming here, so I haven't had a chance to play it yet. But I think it's like a cross between Robotron and Centipede. So yeah, it's that sort of isometric view, but it looks quite good actually. So yeah, if you do fancy seeing a video of this, I could see if I can do a video on a big screen TV downstairs. But yeah, there we go, Centipede Infestation. Let me know if that did have a PAL release. I don't think it did, but obviously, again, my Nintendo Wii is an NTSC one. Moving swiftly on, I've got a couple of specky games in here. The first one, again, I've not played. I've only just opened the packet actually. That is Mr. Hare, or Hair Trigger. So it's the latest of the Mr. Hare games, homebrew on the ZX Spectrum by Lee Chops Stevenson. Really cool, amazing developer he is. I've seen a couple of people have done videos of this. I think there was also a demo, but I've not tried it yet. So yeah, now I've got the Spectrum Next set up. I set that up earlier, so I might even try that later on. So I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully that will stay there. Next game is actually my first rebuy of a Game Boy Advance game. When I say rebuy, I mean as in I haven't rebought any Game Boy Advance game since I got rid of it back ages ago. But this game I always intended to buy but never got around to it. I never saw it for sale, so I didn't get around to picking it up. And that is Rebel Star Tactical Command, Julian Gollop game. Yeah, this one is funny, isn't it now? Because these days you just buy it on the internet, but back then it's one I wanted, but I never actually saw it for sale, and I didn't have the internet back when this released. So just didn't get around to playing it. And I've got a long flight coming up later on this year. I'll be going off to Argentina. So I thought I'll either pick up a Nintendo DS or a Game Boy Advance SP, something like that. And I can finally get to play this. And this sealed copy turned up for not much more than the loose carts, actually. I think I paid 30 quid for that, all still sealed. So, yeah, it won't be staying sealed. I will be opening it and playing it, but really looking forward to playing it. And it's a long old flight out to Argentina, so that'll give me something to keep me entertained. And I do love Julian Gollop is the man. He is the master when it comes to game development. Legendary. Did the games like XCOM and Chaos, Rebel Star, Laser Squad. So I'm sure that'll be good. And then I picked up a PlayStation 2. I got rid of my PlayStation 1 a little while back because I just didn't have a space in my room before to have that set up. And it wasn't a hugely important part of my nostalgia to have, if that makes sense. But when I got rid of it, I did think I might pick up a PlayStation 2 Slim at some point, just because it takes up a lot less space. And actually, I don't think you can see it in this video, but I've actually got it attached down there on the side. I might show that at the end of the vid. But anyway, I had some credit with Retro Games. So I was looking on there one day and he had several PlayStation 2 Slims, actually, with all the controller and cables and everything, 40 quid each, which I think was a really good deal. So shout out to Jace at Retro Games. Good old Jace. So yeah, I grabbed that. And with that, I popped down to, when it arrived, I popped down to CEX, my local one, because they had a couple of games in stock which I was after, actually. The first one is Pinball Classics, Gottlieb Pinball Classics. So shout out to Mike's Shed, because this is his type of game. Yeah, £1.50. Never played it before, but it looks like some quite good pinball games on there. So yeah, grab that one. And the other one, which I picked up from CEX, is Midway Arcade Treasures, £2.50. You've got some absolutely cracking games on here. You've got Joust, Gauntlet, Defender, Rampage, Spy Hunter, Paperboy. Oh, Smash TV, I didn't even realise that was on there. Tubin, Vindicators, Super Sprint. That's a hell of a collection of games. Yeah, really cool. So I'm looking forward to playing that. And again, £2.50. So yeah, PlayStation 2 is not something I'm planning on getting a big library of. But there are some games which I know hold up really well, and they're the main ones I focused on. So yeah, so that's that for now. I'll be coming back to PlayStation 2 in a minute. But with that, since my previous video where I started picking up the Matchbox cars, I've been keeping a close eye on some of the ones which I remember owning, which aren't that many, but there are some. As soon as I've seen them, I thought, oh god, yeah, I had that. And this one here, which I'm going to show you first, is one of those. First time I saw it, I 100% remembered having it and having great memories of it. But I was waiting for a nice conditioned with a box, not a repro box, the original box. And this turned up on eBay after a lot of sort of searching. I think I got it for 20 quid. And that is the Mini Ha Ha. So yeah, there's the box in lovely condition. Again, not a repro, this is an original one. And the condition of the actual car itself is perfect. So I'll show you that. If anybody owned this, I'm sure they'll remember it, because a very distinctive little toy. So I hope that's focusing in okay. Again, I use the back camera for this stuff, so I can't actually see the screen to see how well it's focusing. But yeah, really cool little toy. When was that? So it's made in England, 1973. None of that Chinese remake crap. This is all the original stuff. Good old made in England. You don't get that anymore, do you? So yeah, really happy to have that little chap. So that's that one in its little Matchbox box. And the other one I found just afterwards, and another one I distinctly remember owning. And again, you'd recognise it if you owned it too, and that is the police motorbike. That was on an auction. I was the only bidder. I think I got that for something like 7 quid. It was less than 10 quid posted anyway. Hope that's focusing okay. Again, another one made in England. I think that was in late 70s, something like that. Yeah, really cool. So that's it for the Matchbox. Only a couple, but a couple of really cool ones. This is all going to fall over in a minute. If it doesn't fall over, I want some respect from Dave. Retro games played badly. Ah, come on. It's going to stay. Is it? It's going to stay. Right, and that now brings me on to London Gamer Market. So yes, I went to London Gamer Market last week, mainly for a social really, to catch up with Scott, Sega Zombie, and Alex, U-Star Gamer, who I've never met before. Have chatted to him a lot, but I knew he was going, and it's not too bad for me. It's only like a couple of hours on the train. So yeah, popped over to meet them guys. So shout out to both Sega Zombie and Alex, U-Star Gamer. Brilliant meeting you both. Especially Alex, who I've never met before. It's really nice to finally meet him, put a face to a name, and yeah, we had a really good day actually. It was really nice going around with those guys. And on top of that, we met Martin, Hobby Lodge. He turned up, and he'd been through a bit lately, so it was really nice to meet him. And I also met Scott, Marathon Gamer. I've met him a couple of times before. He was there. And Retro Ed UK, who I've never met before. So yeah, fantastic meeting you, my friend. Yeah, nice to finally meet the legend. Such a nice guy, Retro Ed. And also they were sat, because this was in a pub that we met them first of all, and they were sat with another guy who I've seen before. Just trying to remember his channel name. His name is Tony, and it's Whizbits Random Gaming. I think that's it, Whizbits Random Gaming. I'll try and remember to put links to everybody's channels. But yeah, again, really sound guy, and it was lovely. We had a really nice time there. Good meet up. Nice little drinky in a proper London pub. So yeah, really cool day. And I got some quite nice deals. The other person I met who was inside the market was Stu, Tutu UK. So yeah, good to meet you again, Stu. I've met you before, but yeah, it's always a pleasure, mate. And you were in that little sweat box. Jesus, that was a hot room in that one where Tutti was. So anyway, I didn't really know what to expect game-wise, because I know a lot of people say it's overpriced there. But I think I've got some really nice deals, actually. First and foremost, I had a couple of games I was looking for there, if I found them for a good price. Now, this first one usually sells for about 15 quid on eBay. A little bit less if it's without a manual. I haven't actually checked if it's got a manual yet. But anyway, I went in there. James, Retro Import Gamer, should like the fact I picked this one up. One of his favourites. Outrun 2006 Coast to Coast. Now, I never actually had this back in the day on my PlayStation 2. I had a massive library of games, but not this one. But yeah, I played this recently in the little arcade that's opened up in Taunton. And it's such good fun. So I thought, yeah, I really want to play that again. So I thought, you know what? If I pick up a PlayStation 2, I'll go and get that. Anyway, I went in there, saw it there. One of the first stalls I rocked up at. And I picked this up and I said, how much is that one? And he said, 5 quid. I thought, right, I'm having that all day. Now, I don't even know. It has got a manual. Right. Look at that manual. Those that know, that is Jace at Retro Games song. Yes, so it does have a manual as well. So that makes it even more of a bargain. 5 quid. Is the disc scratched? Let's have a look. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Not mint, but 5 quid. Really chuffed with that. I think that's, especially with the manual in, that's even better. So, and then the same seller, I just paid for that. A game I've been looking out for on the GameCube for ages. NTSC. I play the GameCube games on my Nintendo Wii, which is NTSC. And to buy this game on the GameCube, you're looking at about 25, 30 quid on NTSC, and it's my favourite Burnout by a long way. A lot of people look back on Burnout 3 as being the best, but for me it was Burnout 2, Point of Impact. But anyway, I saw that there on a PlayStation 2. And I thought, you know what, I might just buy it on that, just to make it easier. So I picked that up. I said, how much for that one? And again, he said £5. So yeah, happily handed him a £5 for that. And again, it's got its manual. Again, I didn't know. I didn't care if it had a manual or not, really, to be honest, for £5. But yeah, it does have... It's even got an extra little booklet in there, look. So yeah, £5. Really good deals. Very chuffed for those. Especially the fact they got the manuals in. And then the other game which I was looking for in there was Godzilla Save the Earth. Again, I was looking for this on the GameCube. It's quite hard to come by and quite pricey for the NTSC version of the GameCube game. But it's not expensive on a PlayStation 2. So I thought, you know what, now I've got a PlayStation 2, I might just grab it on that instead. And I was wandering around, I saw this there, £15. Bit more than I wanted to pay. So I said to the guy, would you take a tenner? And he looked at it, he said, I'll tell you what, he said, how about £12? So I said, yeah, £12, that's fine. So yeah, Godzilla Save the Earth. That's, yeah, the book's in there, but the disc is actually in my PlayStation 2. I can't actually play it yet because I can't find the little SCART block for it. I've got it around somewhere, but I can't find it. So anyway, that's another story. And I've got a couple more pickups from the Gamer Market. This is a DVD set, but I've got a feeling they might not have English subtitles. I think this is a Dutch set or German or something like that. Godzilla Den Japanski Originalen. What language is that? I have no idea. But I just saw that on one of the tables, the DVD box set. And there's a couple of films which I haven't seen in here. So you got Godzilla vs Destroyer. Never seen that. I don't think that aired over here in the UK. Godzilla vs Mothra. I think that is the Heisei one. Same with Godzilla vs Ghidorah. So yeah, it had £40 on there. I said, are you open to offers? And he said, yeah. I said, £20. And he said, yeah, okay. So yeah, I hope I can watch those. If they are just foreign language only, then I'll just have to just enjoy them as background. But I'm happy enough picking it up regardless. So yeah, bit of Godzilla comes in. Nice little set. And two more from the Gamer Market. This is one of the ones I was going to be looking for. Not an uncommon game. Uncommon? Yeah, quite a common game. So not uncommon. But I've just never happened to see it in my town. I always pop into my local game shop, which is MT Games. But they never seem to have it in there. And the same with CEX, which is a weird one because it is quite common in CEX, but mine just never has it in stock. And that is the game you can see there in the background. I've got that running on the Super Everdrive, which I'm borrowing from U-Star Gamer at the moment. But yes, Smash TV. I used to have this back in the day. Unfortunately, quite a few years ago, all of my boxed SNES games, I sold them. I thought I was getting a really good price for them because I realised they were worth about £25 each. Mint in boxed. So yeah, they're probably worth quite a bit more than that now. So my only original games I kept were just the unboxed ones. But yeah, I'm not bothered about collecting boxed now. So that had £17 on it. So I said to the guy, "Would you take 15?" And he said, "Yeah, that's fine." So yeah, £15. It's about the going rate, I think, for Smash TV. But again, happy to have it back in the collection. And then the last of the London Gamer Market games, and again, this is a even more common game. It's not an expensive game. This is on the ZX Spectrum, and Operation Wolf. I've got hugely fond memories of this game. I used to play this a hell of a lot with my best mate. Loved it, and the Spectrum version was really good. But for some reason, I just haven't got around to picking it up. And I was wandering around and saw it there, so I said, "How much is your Operation Wolf?" And I think it was just a young couple that were just selling their collection, I think. And she said, "I think it's £2." I thought, blimey, that's cheap. And she went and checked in a book, and she said it's supposed to be a £5. She said, but as I've said, £2. She said, just call it £2. So yeah, Operation Wolf for £2. Really chuffed. It's not an expensive game anyway, but I think £2 is a bargain. So that's it for my London Gamer Market stuff, and I think I did really well. That's risky, but I'm going to take a chance on it. And last but not least, we've got to have a bit of TR99 on my videos. And this one is a recent release, not homebrew as such. This was a late TR99 release. I think it came out in 1989, something like that, only on disc for the US market, and it's a game called Super Space Acer, which is a shoot 'em up. I was hoping to put some gameplay footage of this one, but again, I just haven't got around to it. I've been too busy moving stuff around. But there'll be a video of that coming. I'll do a video of that separately. Yeah, you could buy it either with or without manual, but the manual wasn't anything special, so I'll buy just cart only. I'm not really too fussed. But I am looking forward to playing it because it's a game I've never played before and I hadn't even seen it before. So yes, that's a video which will be upcoming. Living life on the edge. And that's about it. That's about it for my pickups. So yeah, I'll try and put links to everybody I've mentioned in the comments. I hope I've remembered everybody. Also, while I'm thinking of shout outs to people, a shout out to Mark, Space Cowboy, who just started his own channel. A really nice guy is Mark, a good friend of Scott Sega Zombie. That's how I got to meet him. Yeah, really sound guy. He's just started his channel. He did his first video yesterday. Really nice vid as well. So he's going to be a nice guy to follow. So I'll pop a link to his channel. Pop over there and give him a sub, or at least give him a watch. See if he's your cup of tea. And yeah, that's about it, I think. Oh, hang on, I'll pause it because there is another cinema poster which I need to include, and also one other thing. So there is a cinema poster, Southern Comfort, one of my favourite films. I don't know how many fans are aware of that film. Doesn't really get talked about much, surprisingly. A lot of people say it's like a copy of Deliverance, which certainly of that style, but for me I love Deliverance, but Southern Comfort's a far better film. A lot more action and that going on. It would definitely be in my top 10. But anyway, I've always wanted a cinema poster of that, and I had a nice space there in a new room, so I couldn't fit a UK quad, but that's a US one, and it was actually in this country. It's quite cheap actually. I think I got it for one of my dogs is moaning. I think I got that for about 26 quid or something like that. But yeah, really nice poster, really happy to have it, and it fits in nicely with the rest of my stuff. So I'll just give it one more pause to show you this, which is the other pickup, which I almost forgot about. Yeah, the old Matchbox Chieftain, another one I remember having. A tank. I had a couple of these military ones, but that was really cheap again. It was in it's new old stock, but it was quite squashed. I have recovered it a little bit here because that plastic was completely loose. I've actually fixed it back in and sorted out the box a little bit. I think that's probably good enough for display. But yeah, that'll be staying in its box. It's all complete. I think I got that for about 15 quid. So yeah, there we go. And that is about it for now. So bear with me a sec. So there we go. Just as the dogs start barking, that is the end of my video. I think it's been way too long probably. So yeah, I'm sure it won't be, it won't go down too well. But yeah, stuff coming up. I'll have another pickups probably the end of this month because I've got some quite interesting stuff coming in. I'll be doing a room tour once I've finally got everything sorted. But yeah, I've still got quite a lot of stuff to sort out there, and maybe some gameplay video as well. So yes, thank you so much for those that watched and sat through my waffles for what, probably about 25 minutes, half an hour. I will catch you another time, and that is all.